homework.
So never-ending homework.
Yes, that's basically how I usually pass my days.
So do you do you do you still have your online classes?
Yes,
Okay. And how's it been going so far?
it's going fine, normal, actual.
Mm-hmm. I see. Now, how about you, John? How's the past week for you?
Pretty good. We don't have any homework.
Good. And John, how's the situation there in the U.S.? Do you still
I stay at
go?
home, so I don't know. No,
So
the
you're
government shut down the school, so I'm staying at home.
so when did it start?
Like, I don't know, beginning of this week.
I'm sorry,
Beginning of this week.
beginning of the week. All right. So what's the
Yeah.
alternative for that one? Do you have online homework or
Yeah,
online classes
we'll,
just
we'll
like
be having online classes like 2 weeks later. Now we're having break.
Okay, I see. So how do you wish to, fight the boredom at home? What's your
I'm
plan?
not sure.
Okay. So you are in Texas, right? Houston, right?
No,
Oh,
I'm in
where are you?
Ohio.
Ohio, yeah. So how's the thing
Yeah,
going in there? Are you under community quarantine? Because in the Philippines, we are under community quarantine, and oh my gosh,
I'm not sure.
cases are really spiking up here day by day. How about in there? Are people still on the streets? Can you still freely go?
Yeah, I can still see people, but not as much. Not as many.
Mhm. Okay. Now let's continue. Today, we're going to be having our topic outsourcing. Can you see the presentation?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Outsourcing, is it a boon or a bane? Now, is this your, it's this is not your first time you hear about outsourcing, right?
It is my first time. I don't know what it is.
How about you, Amy? Do you have any idea of outsourcing already?
I went to search the definition and I have a basic outline, but I don't really get it.
Okay. Now, let's start. A business process outsourcing is the contracting of specific business function, um, like customer support, the marketing, etc. It should not be confused with the concept of outsourcing as a whole, though. So when you say outsourcing, you contract some of the processes, or you contract like the whole processes outside your company. Now, the difference is that with business process outsourcing, you outsource an entire process business function, and outsourcing in general as well. Yeah, it's just the same. When you say business process outsourcing, you outsource some processes that is going on or is vital in the operation of your company to others. Might be specializing in handling a certain function. Now, what are the types of business processes? So we have three actually. We have core processes. Now, how do we define a core process? Um, the essential defining activities of an organization. If the organization gave those activities to an external party, it would be creating a competitor or dissolving itself. So when you say core processes, it is really the main business. Okay, the defining the defining process of a company, or in short, the main business of the company. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Say for example, you have a let's say you have a for example, in this case, we have coronavirus, and your company specializes in vaccine development, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, and you have already found a vaccine, approved vaccine for corona. So in this case, if you share, In this case, sorry, I'm coughing. I think I have the corona too. Now, in this case, if you have found already a vaccine for corona, and if you let other company like produce this vaccine for you, then you will be losing your business. Do you understand? Because this
Yeah.
is your main business. This is the main core, the core of your business, the main business that your company is defining. So sometimes it's better if you don't, what do you call this? You don't outsource these core processes because you might be creating, other company might copy it, copy your technology, and for that matter, you are creating a competitor yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
Amy, can you follow?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go to non-core this time. When you say non-core process, it's one of the many processes that you do to operate your business. However, it doesn't really hurt if you let others do these tasks for you. Okay, so non-core, non-critical activities supply no competitive advantage. Even if performed poorly, they're less likely to seriously harm an organization in the short term. Although, yeah, they are still very important. Examples including um, cleaning, catering, and security services, right? Of course, our company needs to be clean at all time. It should be clean,
Yeah.
green, and like in some other company, we need to provide like meals for our staff, and of course, we need to secure our premises as well. So these are important in your company, but this is not your defining business. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
in this case, even if your company is not well cleaned, or even if you don't serve great meals to your employees, still it won't really hurt that much of your company's business performance. Okay, so these things
Okay.
are the non-core processes. Now here is the tricky part, the third one, the critical but non-core processes. What are these? Critical but non-core activities, if not performed exceptionally well, will place an organization at a competitive disadvantage or even create a risk. So critical, but this is non-core. Important, but still this is not the main line of your business, but it hurts. Okay? If you perform
Okay.
poorly at this. There are many examples of companies' failures to manage their logistics processes adequately, leading to produce shortages and loss of market share. For example, right now, in my side business, I sell like thermal scanners. Okay,
Okay.
are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
Like the gun thermometers, right?
Yeah.
This is my main business. Oh my gosh, what's happening to me? Okay, for example, I sell this, and I had sourced this from Shenzhen. Okay,
Yeah.
Shenzhen, China. So now, what happens is that I have like already 5 days delay. Okay,
Okay.
delay in the shipment. Now, a lot of my customers already are complaining, or they're already pissed because they thought that the thermal scanner will be available 5 days prior. However, up until this day, it's still not, and it's not even yet shipped. It's still in Shenzhen. It's at the port of Shenzhen. Okay, so in this
Okay.
case, my main business is not logistics, right? But logistics is
Yeah.
a very important part of my business process, especially these days. Okay, so
Okay.
a delay in the logistics of my products, in the delivery of my products, uh, would critically affect my business too. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Again, logistics is not my main business. My main business is selling thermal scanner gun thermometers. However, if logistics is delayed, or if there's a failure to manage my logistics, then probably I will be losing credibility from my customers. Number two, some customers will be backing out Number 3, other customers will look for other suppliers, right? Number 4, I will be really tarnishing my credibility, and I might not get repeat orders for that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, logistics is a critical process, but non-core. It's a critical because I'm at sourcing products in China, but it's non-core activity. Non-core in the sense that it is logistics is really not my main business. Unless unless I am a logistics company, then it becomes core. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Amy, can you follow?
Yes.
Okay. Now there are 2 types of outsourcing functions. Sorry. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. There are 2 types of outsourcing functions. We have the back office functions and we have the front office functions. Now it's very easy. When you say back office function, it includes internal company processes like outsourcing, purchasing, etc. So this is internal. Okay. And you
Okay.
don't, in short, you don't deal directly with customers, all right? Or people, if that matter, or people.
Yeah.
Okay. So you work these are the things, these are the jobs you work at back of the office. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And for front office functions, these are anything that deals with customers or suppliers, right? Like sales, sales, people, customer support, something like that. So directly deal with customers or people. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So those are the 2 functions that you might be outsourcing, all right? So sometimes you outsource all of these, both of these, the back office functions and the front office functions. However, a lot of back office functions really are not outsourced because these are things eternal, and it would be quite of a mess if you outsource a lot of your back office functions. Okay.
Okay.
Amy, can you follow?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, hold on. It seems to me that it seems to me that I have jumped. Yeah, I actually jumped. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, it's okay. Okay, let's go to types of sourcing this time. We have offshore outsourcing. What is offshore outsourcing? Look at the picture. These are pictures of 2 countries, right? One might be Donald Trump's hand, and the other one might be Xi Jinping's hand. So in short, when you do this is outsourcing in a distant country. This is across regions, right? For example, from North America, USA, to East Asia, China, right? So this is off the shore. You understand?
Yeah.
Number 2 is nearshore outsourcing. Outsourcing within the region and within neighboring countries. For example, in this case, we have countries that are located close to the contracting company. For example, USA to Mexico, right? Or USA, Canada, something like that. So in this case, they are near shore, or they are just within the region, and they are as well neighboring countries. Okay.
Okay.
And number 3, sorry, this is number 2, but it's number 3. Onshore outsourcing. When you say onshore, it is outsourcing within the same country but a different city or location. So just within the same country, but probably be on the different province or region of that country, right? For example, outsourcing some raw materials from, say, I don't know, but maybe Guangdong to Shenzhen, something like that. because Shenzhen is a port city, Beijing as well is a port city, right? So these
Yeah.
are the exit points of China to the world. So a lot of companies are established in here around the port. However, they outsource really their products somewhere else in China, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's have a break first. Let's have like a quiz. How about you, John? What type of outsourcing is this? Offshore, nearshore, onshore?
Offshore.
Offshore. What do you say offshore?
So it's like across the world,
Are you sure?
kind of. Yeah.
This one in I boxed in
Oh,
red.
oh, the first one. That's I think the second one we talked about. The onshore one, I think.
Nearshore, you mean?
Near shore. Yeah, near
Yeah,
shore.
nearshore, correct. Nearshore. Great. How about this next picture, Amy? Just beside it.
I think that this one is offshore.
Offshore, correct. This is offshore, and the last one, of course. This is oh, sorry. Sorry. I was wrong. The first one is I forgot. Sorry. The first one is not actually near shore because this is the map of the US and this is in Alaska, US too, right? US
Oh,
territory as well. I thought it's Canada. I forgot about my geography. Almost forgot my geography. So what is this? This is number one, John.
the I forgot the name. The third
Onshore.
one we talked about.
Okay.
Onshore. Yeah.
Yeah. The first one is onshore. The second one, Amy said offshore is correct because from America to China, I guess. And the third one is gonna be near shore because you are outsourcing within the Americas, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. I know. It's okay now. Now let's talk about, let's discuss this first. Can you please read this, John?
Discuss the differences and the advantages of offshore outsourcing, nearshore outsourcing, and onshore outsourcing.
Okay, just pick one there that you would like to discuss. The advantages, do you think? And the nature.
Let's say offshore.
Okay, go. How do you understand offshore? And what advantages do you think it presents? Go. Oh, we've never talked about the advantages yet. You're just
Yeah.
going to give your own take of the issue, okay?
Okay.
How about you, Amy? Which one would you pick so that you can ready? John already picked offshore, so it's out of the hand already. What is your take? Which one would you like to discuss?
Not
Near
really.
or on?
Maybe near shore.
Okay. Let's start with you, John.
I'll say maybe.
Not the differences, but discuss the nature and the possible advantages. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it can do like lower cost. It'll consume lower costs in some products.
Now, what is offshore yet? You define it yet.
Oh,
Based
offshore.
your own understanding.
Okay. So it's like doing the outsourcing like on the other side of the world.
What do you mean by other side of the world?
So it's like, for example, from America to China. That's like offshore, like really long distance overseas. Yeah.
And then what could it be its possible advantage if we do this kind of outsourcing?
Maybe like a difference at cost.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because like things
I mean, the
cost.
production and the labor cost, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
why?
well, there is like price difference between each countries.
Mm-hmm.
So, so like the companies can create the same profit while spending way less on the actual production.
Okay. That
Yeah,
is true, right? Because a labor cost in the U.S. compared to China is it's significantly lower in China, right?
yeah.
Okay. How about you, Amy? Discuss the nature of nearshore and what could be its possible advantage or advantages.
So nearshore is basically outsourcing, but not over countries or overseas. And
Not overseas?
yeah, it could be overseas, but what exactly was the definition?
Right? I didn't hear you well.
What exactly was the definition?
Yeah, the definition you're supposed to discuss it. Yeah, but when you say nearshore, just within the same region or outsourcing in neighboring countries. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
So near shore is outsourcing in the same region and nearby countries, and the advantage of it could be that I'm not really sure. I'm thinking about it.
Do you think there is an advantage in labor cost too, just like what John said? Do you think it can possibly happen as well in nearshore outsourcing?
What?
Do you
Like I
do you
didn't
think we can
remember.
achieve lower production costs or capital
Yes.
when we do nearshore?
Yeah, well, maybe
Maybe, right? Now,
because here, so the cost is a bit lower.
okay. Now, Amy, can you name some countries do you think are just neighboring of China?
Vietnam and Korea.
Vietnam, North Korea, right?
Yes.
Do you know, and even Russia, right?
Yes.
Okay, India as well. Now, that being said, do you know things that are being outsourced by China from these countries?
Um, I don't know.
What?
I
I'm
don't know.
sorry?
I don't know.
You don't know, Amy?
No.
How about you, John? Do you have any idea?
Uh, not. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I don't know, but I had a student before. He was like a Vietnamese businessman. He's outsourcing from China. I think that's very common, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I outsource things from China as well. Now let's talk about the advantages of the three different outsourcing. Offshore outsourcing, yeah, you're correct, John. There is reduced capital cost for that. Outsourcing makes the provision of workspace, equipment, and human capital by somebody else. So, and that's one of the advantages of it. Now, here is another thing. Look, you can turn fixed cost into variable cost. What do we mean by fixed cost and variable cost? When you outsource, you can only pay for the outputs. During quiet times, you can reduce the cost of the product. Now, for example, let's compare with you outsource only. Uh, let's compare it when you outsource only and when you run your own production company, right? So, for
Yeah.
example, when you run, I will just say you here, and then I will just say Alibaba, right? Because this
Yeah.
is the cost. This is commonly. Now, if you operate your own company, if you produce your own goods, you will be having fixed costs, right? What are these fixed
Yeah.
costs? Salary of your people, taxes, internet, logistics. What else? Electricity. Okay,
Okay.
maintenance, etc. I don't know the spelling of maintenance. Is it correct? Maintenance?
AIN. Yeah.
Sorry. Is it sure? Yeah, I think. And etc. All right. So these are your fixed costs, right?
Yeah.
What happens if, for example, now sale is low, right? Because of
Yeah.
the virus. So you will still be having to shoulder the fixed cost, right? You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Compare that if you're just going to outsource, say, from suppliers in Alibaba. So what would happen is that automatically you will be having never to worry about these anymore, right? Instead
Yeah.
of spending money for this, well, you just simply worry about the output, right? Or you can even increase your output for that, right?
Yeah.
So that is it. If you outsource, well, you can turn fixed cost into variable cost. Variable cost actually depends on your supply. I'm sorry, on your demand, right? So if you
Yeah.
want more of this product these days, then you have to spend more. But if you think it's lean season, then you can just buy in accordance to your demand. Okay? Do you get my point?
Okay. Yeah.
And you can actually make that into savings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. And number 3 is you boost efficiency. And the question here is how? How do you boost efficiency? Well, outsourcing gets you access to expertise, and since the task you pass on to them is the core business of the organizations to which you outsource, they're always on top of the game. So you increase efficiency when you outsource. Why? Because you are dealing with experts of the field, right?
Yeah.
For example, say you outsource some of your back office function like accounting, right? You
Yeah.
outsource it to accounting firm. Rest assured that you will be getting significantly accurate accounting results because, of course, they are expert at that field. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Amy, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Advantages of nearshore outsourcing, yeah, reduce operating costs because currency and labor costs as well differs from one country to another, right?
Yeah.
Just for example, you outsource in Mexico, you are paying in pesos, and you will be shipping that to US, which is in dollars. So there really is a huge difference when it comes to the labor cost alone. Number 2, proximity to the company. This is one advantages which you can get when you do near shore because they are just neighboring countries. So most probably, a shipment arrives earlier compared to you outsource it near shore. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And number 3 is strong cultural affinity. Yeah, correct. There might be lesser cultural differences, right?
Yeah.
And cultural conflicts, okay? Because you are just within the borders, so most probably, there are a lot of things that you share commonly with, right? For example,
Yeah.
USA and Mexico, they really have a lot of things similar in them, though there are also differences, but there are also a lot of things similar, right? And I
Yeah.
guess China and Vietnam too. China and Vietnam also has cultural affinity. So when you deal with your company to your to your outsourcee, um, not much of a difference and not much of a cultural conflict compared to outsourcing from USA to China, right?
Yeah.
There are really two different worlds. Yeah, although nowadays it's not much of a problem, but yeah, but still, you can take advantage of the strong cultural affinity when you outsource and when you outsource a nearshore. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, as well as the time. Okay,
Yeah.
time zone. So most probably, you're just 1 hour or just the same time zone or just an hour late or an hour advanced each other. So working and communicating is really not that much of a problem compared to say you outsource USA to China, where there is really a really big gap. So when you want a, for example, a conference of that, it would be easier if you do conference near shore because there might be 1 hour 1 hour delay at advance, or it could be of the same time zone, right?
Yeah.
Advantages of onshore outsourcing, yeah, number one is really communication because more probably you speak the same language because you're from the same country, right? So you
Yeah.
really most of the time avoid miscommunication, and that is a very important in partnership. Number two, fewer cultural differences. Yeah, because you are just of the same country. Though a big country also, you can find some differences in the culture, but not there as much. Locally appropriate skill set. Why? Because the laws in one country are just the same all throughout, right? Or in
Yeah.
state, there are only little differences each state, right? So
Yeah.
most probably, you have the same knowledge of the tax, you have the same knowledge of the laws, you'll have the same knowledge of rules and regulations, customs, etc. So it's not really difficult to deal with because you are just having the same book of law. Okay.
Yeah.
Number four, they know your market. Yeah, because they come from the same culture, so they really know your clients, their strengths, their weaknesses, what makes them, what sparks their interest, and what might turn them off. So these things culturally are very important, right? Deep cultural knowledge. So in a nutshell, so
Okay.
these are some of the processes. Some of them are, these are a combination of front office, back office, right? So let's
Yeah.
have a quiz this time. I'm gonna circle, and then you tell me if it's front office function or back office function. Let's do this
Okay.
alternately. Let's start with Amy.
Okay, so
Ugh. Front or back?
uh, what did you say? I didn't hear anything.
Here, I circle it.
And the question was,
I don't know. I forgot. You can ask John.
Oh, so it's saying like if whether the thinky circles is a front or back
Front
support or
office
whatever.
or back
Yeah,
office
front
function?
office or back office.
um, I think that's I'm not very sure. I think maybe it's a back.
How about you,
I think
John?
it's front. I
Yeah,
think that one's front.
it's front
It says
because you are
support.
supporting clients, right?
Yeah.
You are dealing with people. Uh, People not within your organization. How about this one, John?
Telemarketing circuit services. I think that's also front. I'm not quite sure what it is,
Yeah,
but it sounds like
telemarketing
it.
is like you market your product maybe through phone
Okay.
calls, through the internet. IT help desk.
Yeah,
Amy.
that's definitely front. Oh,
Insurance processing. Yeah, you process the insurance of your employees.
I'm supposed to answer this one, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so I think that's back maybe.
correct. It is a back office function. Data entry.
yeah, I think that's back.
Data conversation.
What exactly is data conversation?
Amy, hello.
Yes, I was asking what exactly is data conversation.
Oh yeah. Data conversation is like the conversation that you have with your customers and that you need to record it just for future purposes, especially against complaints, so you can have something to go back to, especially if your clients is complaining about perhaps the communication or the transaction he or she had with one of your employees.
I guess that's the front.
Okay, how about this one, John? Bookkeeping, accounting.
That's back.
Back. Form processing. Yeah, form processing could be a back if you process form of just of your employees, but it could be also front if you process form of your customers, right? Application form, something like that, order form. It depends.
Yeah.
Customer support, it's very clear it is front. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So again, this is in a nutshell. These are the outsourcing advantages. Operation cost reduction, easier cost control. Okay, now I just ask you how. Just a second, let me just check. Okay, let's go back. Okay, how can these things happen, right? How can these be possible? Let's start with you, Amy. Let's start with John. Hey, John.
Yeah.
Okay, how can this possibly be achieved?
Reduction. So I think maybe put the laborers to other countries with cheaper labor fees. Yeah.
Great.
To reduce the cost. Yeah.
Correct. Exactly. Now, how about you, Amy? How can this be achieved if you outsource?
Probably by outsourcing, the people dealing with it will be more professional and probably it'll be easier to control the cost. Did anyone hear what I said?
Yeah.
No.
I was
Then,
asking, how can this be possibly achieved when you do outsourcing?
okay, so I guess that my microphone had some problems. So what I said was that outsourcing means that you're letting more professional people dealing with this thing, and for them, then we
Still, I didn't hear. Did you hear that well, John?
No.
How about you, John? How do you think this one is possible?
Easier cost control. So
Can you still
maybe
remember
like
the variable cost and the fixed cost?
not really.
It's like you're just paying per output, and you're not going to be having to pay for your fixed expenses, like taxes,
Oh,
electricity, salary, right?
yeah,
Yeah, because you're just simply paying for a cost per order, and that is much easier to account compared to computing several figures and allocations. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. How about this one, John? How do you understand that? I mean, how can that be possible?
So cooperation with specialists from narrow areas. So yeah, for those narrow areas, maybe it's like very hard to find a specialist in some countries,
Mm-hmm.
especially those like very high tech stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Correct.
very hard to find an expert.
Right.
So it's better to just reach out and call for help
Call
for
for
some
help. Yeah. Correct.
call for help.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Especially new processes, right? Or something related to technology, maybe graphics and design, web, as well as what do you call this? Programming. These are the narrow area, right?
yeah,
Not it's not easily accessible. Not many can provide these services. However, if you instead of you having a headache on how to figure things out, just simply call for help, right?
yeah,
Hire for help at that matter. Okay, so this is relative process optimization and rising efficiency because again, you deal with experts, right? So
yeah,
experts of the field, so more lesser mistake, more quality with your output, liberating capital for other purposes. Yeah, this can be related to easier cost control, right? Because you're paying per output, and with that, instead of having a fixed cost, you can allocate it into many, reallocate it into many things, like increasing production or investing into other stuff or doing some other side of business, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so you can now have freedom to um, do whatever money you have saved. And releasing internal capabilities, so it means that there are some internal processes actually that you can also make others do. You understand? For example,
yeah.
accounting, even if it's an internal process, it can be outsourced. Okay.
Okay.
Even purchasing, like there are companies that offers purchasing, they would be looking for potential suppliers or tech partners for you. So that is a very internal process. That is a very back office function. But even that is a back office function, you can still find a third party for you to do the job. So actually, there are so many things that you can release out there, making your operation making your accountability for your company operation very minimal. All right, it's like you have
Yeah.
so many slaves now doing the job for you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, those are the advantages of outsourcing in general. Now here are some of the cons about it. um Amy, how
Yes.
can this happen when you outsource?
Uh, Outsourcing often means that you're cooperating with people from other countries, and there will definitely be communication barrier.
Yeah, how can communication barrier possibly happen?
When you're from different countries,
I'm sorry.
when you are from different countries,
Correct. Exactly. Number two, habitual delays. How can this happen, John?
Habitual delay. Uh, well, what do you mean by that? Like habitual delay?
habitual. There is a repetitive delay of your products, okay, or the delivery of your product and services.
A delay on the product.
Yeah.
Mm,
It is expected that you will incur this, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
don't quite get it. Like how would it happen?
for example, you outsource your product in China,
Yeah.
and then there are times that you need it to be shipped to, for example, you're in America, right?
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you do
I think I
shipping.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in the port alone, sometimes it takes a long time for your products to be cleared, right? It's not
Yeah.
always a fixed time that, for example, if shipping from China to America takes like 1 week, this is only example. It's not always a
Yeah.
guarantee, right? Because in the port alone, waiting for the clearance for it to be deposed,
Yeah.
it ranges from 1 week to 3 weeks, right? So if you're lucky enough,
Yeah.
your product in the port can be released as soon as possible, and you can follow the 1 week shipping. However, not only your company is also making its way out of a port. So it's really a lucky if you can follow the schedule of delivery, just the schedule of delivery, right?
Yeah.
So you expect to have habitual delays. Just like for me, I accept my thermometers to be here in 5 to 7 days, but it's already on the 12 days, and still it's not in with me. So that really happens, and that might make or break your business. All right.
Yeah.
Number 3 is confidentiality. What do I mean by this? Why? What is the meaning of this? I'll just make this fast, okay? Because we don't have much time anymore. Confidentiality is there are core processes in your company that you can also outsource, right?
Yeah.
And also, for example, and there are also internal processes that you outsource, right? So
Yeah.
other people would know all these things, all of these whereabouts. So you might be exposing your secrets to them. So you will lose. It should be negative confidentiality, right?
Yeah.
Next is delayed support. Yeah, especially if you outsource tech support, customer support. For example, America outsources their customer and tech support from the Philippines because we speak English language, right? But
Yeah.
there is sometimes a problem with the support because we have different time zone. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next is quality versus cost. Yeah, you can find a lot of cheap things in Alibaba, in Taobao. However, you are not insured with the quality of these products because um, suppliers as well are trying to figure out how they could cost cut with the output that they are also shipping abroad. You understand?
Yeah.
This is expected, and slipping control, especially if you utmost especially if you outsource most of the processes in your company, so you don't really have like a 100% control of everything that is going through, right? You would still
Yeah.
depend on your outsourcing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is outsourcing a boon or a bane? Let's take your side. I think it was John who came in first.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, John. Okay. Wait.
I'll say it's been
Wait.
positive. Okay.
Amy, are you okay with that?
Yes.
You're gonna be negative, right?
Yes.
Sources. Let's just make it simple. For John, outsourcing is good, advantageous. For Amy, outsourcing is disadvantageous, not good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's it. Any question or concern?
Nope.
Is the explanation clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please do extended research about it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Keep safe. See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.